Running a business can feel lonely, especially when the decisions get heavy. Welcome to CEO Whisperer by Saurabh Jain. Practical insights from the boardroom and the meditation cushion. I'm Saurabh. I've done 10,000 hours in three major parts of my life. I've spent 10,000 hours being a CEO, 10,000 hours being a board member, and 10,000 hours meditating. What we're going to do in each episode is really unpack a real business challenge that a CEO is facing and see if we can work through it together. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us at CEO Whisper. I'm Saurabh. I've got Japan Mehta with me today as well from Ticketless Parking. Japan, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much for the invite. It's a pleasure. So I run a tech company, which I call it a day job, where I am a CEO and MD at Ticketless Parking, which is more about making the parking experience for the motorists as well as the management super simple without compromising the yield. And then I also support a couple of startups to help them with growth.
I just noticed our local Lane Cove parking is actually Ticketless Parking as well.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. It's one of our oldest operating customer, and it's no gates, and we are now on 4 different car parks with that.
Yeah.
So that, and then other board, sit on the board of a tech called Jettle.
Yep.
And which has recently developed an AI plugin that helps teachers and students with the work, and also advisor on a beauty tech, which is it's called Bella app, which is more of call it an Uber app, Uber Eats for salons. And mentor a few very early day startups, because nowadays I think, having lived in the US where the startups and entrepreneurship is a big deal, which slowly is creeping into Australia, very good thing. But a lot of people wants to do it, just don't know how to. You know the experience of that.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the lens of today is probably to try to talk through a business problem that you're having today. Do you want to just frame that up for us to get us started?
In terms of the business problem, look, I think nowadays, as I said, that Australia is a hidden gem. It's an island that a lot of people don't know how amazing it is. But then, in terms of the tech world, we're always on the not a front end of the innovation. So whenever there is a new tech that is introduced to us, the biggest challenge that I feel being an engineer and a tech is I'm one of those early adopters. But then in order to have people's buy-in and blessing is probably the biggest challenge in any of the tech firm, unless it is spreading like AI. I think there's still resistance, not a little bit, but a lot. But that's the thing, the adaptation of the new tech is always a challenge. So,
and is that you selling tech to your clients, or are you getting tech used by your internal staff?
I think both. Some people use it, some people abuse it, but then how to utilize to improve the yield is the challenge. Now, everything nowadays, for example, is coming with a wrapped in an AI wrapper. But then when you start digging more into it, you don't really get any benefit. Like we use CRM. And then it's like, oh, I have this AI. Well, is AI really giving me any help to generate more leads? Or even if I have a lead, how is that AI helping me to convince the customer? So that's the challenge, and a little bit of foundation on that.
Actually, got to be a bit more narrow. Like, is there a specific tech you're trying to introduce that you're not having success with, not having traction with?
Yeah, we can. So payments is now gone digital. Right? It's all mobile phone. And I have been in the parking industry for almost a decade now. And back in the day, it used to be the on-street lollipop parking meters that you put in the coins, and then they introduced the credit card taps. And then nowadays, including Lane Cove and North Sydney, many councils across Australia and globally, they want to reduce they call it the furniture on the side of the street, like parking meters, and also they want to remove the gates and stuff like that. So they want to introduce the digital payment and the permits and registration methods for on street, off street, and also if you had registered your cars, you can park anywhere you go. You don't have to look for a parking meter, or you just pay it on your phone. Or you drive in and out of a car park and know that you will get a push notification that you drove in. It's just like tolls. That even now is a struggle.
Yeah. And is that struggling with your clients, or struggling getting your internal people to implement that tech so you can sell it to your clients? Yeah. And why is it a struggle?
My 77-year-old mom says I would never have a credit card, right? So she doesn't drive, but at the same time, there is, let's say, Gen of our age as well, and maybe even 60 plus. Their mindset is I stop and I pull a ticket and I pay before I leave. And if you tell them that there is no ticket to pull, there is no machine to pay, it's all on your phone. And they're like, you're going to take something away from me. Then there are some data awareness and issues as well comes to play. It's like, okay, so if I have to register, where is my data, and then who has my credit card details and things like that. And then the theft that goes around, I don't blame them completely. There are better measures for the risk control as well as the data management. And we have also introduced a non-app based payments and stuff, but it's still an uphill battle to convince a motorist to pay using your smartphone.
Okay. So is the challenge that one may want to talk about is like, how do I get new payments tech into my clients? Is that what you're trying to solve for?
Correct.
Yeah. And who are your general clients? Are they councils, parking lots, landlords?
Mixed use development, shopping centers, councils, a lot of lots and lots of hospitality venues like hotels, RSLs, and some hospitals as well.
Yeah. And why is this a good problem to solve?
Any car park or on-street council does not want to lose revenue. They want to make it work for everyone. If you look at the demographic between drivers of my daughter's age who are on their P's,
terrifying.
Those like my mom who shouldn't be driving, they all use those car parks and they're all willing to pay. So then the question then becomes is what's the way the tech is moving is so fast. It amazes me, but not others, not everyone. So there is no cookie cutter solution for a customer. I mean, if you were on a car park and if you say, well, like I have a driver's range from 19 to 69, tell me one thing that works for everyone. And I don't think my daughter has any plastic credit card. She's like, why would I need it? Why do I roll down the window and do anything? You know, so, but then the other elderly gentleman's like, I don't have a credit card. What do you mean you can't take my cash? So how do you simplify parking? That's what it is. And it's a similar thing. Like, even if I talk about the other tech business that I'm involved in, it may not be the specific payment, but there's a lot that is happening on handheld. People are still, when they think of education, they think of pen and paper. Nobody's thinking of AIs and typing and things like that. So it's.
But I guess what I don't understand, like, why is that a problem to solve? Like, why do you want to try to get some of this new payment tech into your clients? I mean, if they're happy as is, why try to change that?
As I say that, if the tech is evolving very fast, the cash is going to be history, probably, I would say, in the next 10 years. Nobody's going to, it will be framed. I think my grandkids would just say, what is this? So it is a problem. And whomever solves
It's a problem that you see, is a problem your clients see as well.
I see it as a problem as well. And then sometimes the clients do see it, but they're like, okay, I mean, it's not my today's problem. So I'll just get on with it. And by the time it becomes my problem, somebody will have a solution. So it first comes with CEOs and techies like me or you who just say, okay, if I have a solution that is going to be a problem in 4 to 5 years, and if I get a head started today, I have two ways to go. One is not only I have to come up with a very robust solution, but two, I have to start warming up the customer. Just like, this is coming. Very soon the cash is going to be obsolete. And nobody's going to have a physical card.
Just play devil's advocate. Like I just don't get why solve that. I mean, in 5 years, your clients will be ready. You can meet them there. Why try to drag them forward?
A couple of things. One, obviously, if you don't do it, somebody else would, and then they would be in front of the line. And
this is you selling to your existing clients or to new, or a bit of both?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of both. And then, and I think, to be honest with you, it's a lot easier to sell to the existing ones. So tickets, for example, is an old school. Even 5 years ago, if I used to be in a meetings where the conversation was more about what's wrong with tickets? Why do I need to go ticketless? How efficient is your system and things? What's the accuracy to read the license plate and things like that? So the conversation was never about why is your system better than the other. It was more digress about convince me about this tech. Sometimes, I mean, those conversations does not have a win or loss. You leave them in confusion. It's like, well, if I believe only this person, it does. Otherwise, I don't know, type of thing. Those who we convince and we continue to develop today, they're all knocking on our doors. We are converting that into business. We are making money. We are getting lots of clients who are now saying, like, this is the future. And these guys been at it for a long time. So I want to be the voice today who talks about it. So when you hear too much about it, you're like, oh, I know this person been talking about it for 5 years. Probably he knows, or this business knows.
So is it to be, because if you talk about this a lot, you'll be like, the thought leader, the brand leader in this area. People might not use that tech, but you might have a halo effect. But they're like, this is the forward-thinking company. Let me sign them up. I'm not ready for this new payment system yet, but I know at some point I'll use that, and then theoretically you'll win more work that way. Is that what you're thinking? Like it'll be like a sales and marketing tool for you as well, or
it's a bit of both, right? So branding matters. If you talk about it now, it may. I'll give you an example. Since the last couple of days, just for kicks, I've been trying the full self-driving.
Oh, yeah, good old Tesla one, amazing.
Supervised. When I told my wife, she said, oh, maybe in the night then there is no traffic. I mean, it's supposed to work regardless. My daughter, who initially said, not when I'm in the car. So you can sense that, Elon's thinking about it. It's like, this is the future. We are probably, from my experience, I think we are a few years away from literally sitting in the back seat and doing the work. Not there today, but when that's going to be the pioneer of the mindset. A lot of other cars are going to come up with this. Just like, he commercialized the EV. If he hadn't done it, the Tesla wouldn't be a 1.1 more than $1 trillion business.
$1.5 trillion now.
We did the same thing 3 years ago. If you look at, we started branding and of the concept, not a business, the concept. We got lucky that, we IP'd the ticketless parking, and then that's us.
Yep.
So the concept today is our business name.
Yep.
So we must have done it long time ago when people didn't even think of a concept.
Yeah.
We didn't just sit there for all these years just doing that. So what we did is, like, if we had this tickets, paper tickets, not only yours helping people save money, you're digitizing the identification of a vehicle at an entry and exit, or a start and end. And then with that digitization, there is so much you can do: payments, permits, validations, discounts, and it just opens another world. When those who are actually now saying that, like, darn it, we missed the boat 5 years ago, but we can catch up. We just need to understand where to get these cameras and software and blah, blah. But by then you're already 3 steps ahead. Right. So it's always like that. You find a problem and then you think of the potential that it can branch out. And then when you solve that fundamental issue, then there's so much growth that you can do.
Well, no, I think your analogy holds well for Tesla. Like, I bought my first Tesla probably 8 years ago now. Paid for the full self-driving back in 2018, whatever it was. Thinking that it's a year away. But I bought into Tesla's vision.
Yes.
And what resonated with me back even 8 years ago, Elon Musk was saying, like, why would you buy a car that can't drive itself? Can't do it today, but I'm only a year away. He's been a year away for a while. And I think now he's probably only a year away. So I totally get that. So I guess in your context, you've solved the ticketless parking problem.
Yes.
You've solved it, and probably everyone else has somewhat solved it to some degree. Like, people have copied it, they've done different tech. So it kind of makes sense. You've got to figure out now what's that next vision thing. Short of changing your name to paymentless tickets, paymentless parking, I don't know. So that totally makes sense, right? You've got to figure out, like, what's this new innovative thing that you actually want to brand yourself as?
Yeah, I think
is that it?
Something like that. This mobility now go beyond. Once you solve this vehicle identification issue or a challenge, then suddenly you're into mobility business, because data and tracking in a safe way, in safe environments, and in right hands, there is so much that is happening from the digital wallet perspective. Right? So end of the day, what's going to happen is continuation into the full self-driving. So the claim, whenever that happens, is that owners like us would have a vehicle. We wake up, we want to go to work, we call our car, which has been making money.
Totally.
Being a cyber, not cyber truck,
robo-taxi.
The robo-taxi, thank you. And then once it drops it off, then it goes around, makes more money, right? It would have an identification, license plate, right? The license plate would go into the car park. It would stay in the car park in a charging bay, identified by your license plate, and charge, and then drive out. There's nobody there. That identifier linked with the payment processing for the services you take from on-road or off-road, go through tolls. People will know there's like, oh, which one is my robo-taxi? Oh yeah, it's ABC 123 license plate. So that fundamental problem or challenge of identifier needed to be solved, which is now done. So now suddenly you can embark upon all this mobility journey. Like, how do I bank and cash on that? And offer paid services.
So the problem, perhaps you're already finding this. Actually, I must just ask, how long have you been talking about this kind of the new payment framework for? How long have you been talking about, telling your team, telling your clients for?
Just a couple of years, not too long.
So it's going to be, and tell me if you're finding this, but it's going to be really hard to solve. I'll tell you why, because you've probably got a team of mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, software engineers, people that understand software for, image processing. You probably don't have a great payments team, right? You're probably not like set up like a fintech. How have you gone about convincing your internal guys that the next pivot is to almost become this payments fintech style organization?
So what we have done is, when you listen to the customers and their dreams and kind of align and assess your own,
Yeah.
the vision comes. And this is the thing of,
So it's not so much about the vision. The vision makes sense, but how do you convince your internal guys? Because internal guys have this legacy of being successful in ticketless parking, and now you want to be successful in this payments game,
yep,
which is completely different mindset, different risk profile, different compliance. And if I'm an engineer, doing whatever the physical stuff I want to do around parking,
yeah,
how do I get the CEO to take me from here to here?
yeah. So
And your grin says it all, by the way.
yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean,
Mm,
many years ago, I was introduced to a book which put things into words
yeah.
of whatever, which is good to great, right?
Mm,
If you have the right people in the right chair on the bus,
yeah.
then they would be willing to agree and
Hmm.
embark on that
Yeah.
journey. The way when the winds of change comes,
Mm,
there will be always people who would just say, "No, we can't steer.
yeah.
This is it."
Yeah.
And I still have them. Um, but that doesn't mean that you, there are some anchors and there are some propellers and
Hmm.
there are some, who are just passengers.
Yeah.
As long as those individuals in the team are not being anchors
Hmm.
to stop
Yeah.
the progress, then that's fine. You can always find propellers.
Mm. But is that solved within your organization, or
Yes.
is that the problem to solve? It's solved?
So everybody has a role to play,
Yeah.
right? We have a legacy system like Linco. It's been
Mm,
operating for 10 years. There are legacy systems, and we have engineers who are still there to solve and service and maintain
mhm.
and do this.
Yeah.
There are customers who would just say, "We're very, very happy with what we have. We want to change
Yeah.
nothing." And even if you go and tell them, it's like, "Oh, but you can double your income." It's like, no, no, very
Yep.
happy, very.
Mhm.
But then majority of them, the moment you talk about yield and stuff, this is the role of a leader of the business, be it the
Mm.
CEO or a non-CEO. Um, my past life, when I was giving my ideas and
Mm.
vision, there were some other leaders who were laughing at it.
Yep. As in, like, people within the team.
Yeah, the
Yep.
peers or the
Yep.
peers or the, cross other C-level executives or the people, like the board or
Mhm.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They're like, "Oh, this is crazy. What is this guy thinking?"
How did you make sure you didn't get fired during that process?
I didn't. So,
Yeah. Well, I know you didn't get fired, which is great.
right. So,
But no, but how did you make sure you weren't fired during that process? Because often that's what happens, right? A CEO will actually see the future, they'll see it correctly, but in the initial phases, they fail to either convince the board or convince their management team that this is the way to go to, and they
so,
get turfed out.
I was a C-level executive, but not a CEO.
Oh,
So
you were the
what?
CEO at the time? Okay.
Yeah. So what happened?
What level were you at the time?
COO.
A COO.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what it is that it's a bit of both ways, right? And exactly, I said that if the leader of the business says like this is what we do,
Mhm.
we don't need to digress. We have a customer who's willing to pay for it,
Yeah.
and then somebody comes along. Even today, when I am CEO,
Yeah. Hmm.
because that happened to
Yeah.
me, I don't turn a blind eye on
Yeah.
any idea or a
Mm.
concept. Right? It could be as crazy as it could be, but
Mm.
I always take it with a grain of salt, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's unfold this sort of. But when somebody comes to you and says, "Look, the world is going this way,
Mm.
and we are putting time and resource in other way direction, why don't we focus and assess
Allocate
and
some.
evaluate,
Yeah.
allocate something here? If survival is not an issue, let's talk about the
Tell me
growth."
about the timing. So you had this idea. What? How many years ago would it have been when you first started talking?
Or
Say 4 years ago. How long have you been at Ticketless Parking for now?
4 years. Nice.
So kind of as soon as you joined, you saw
5 years.
this.
Yeah.
So as soon as you joined, you saw this like a year later. How long before you became the CEO?
So I saw the digital payments
Yeah.
for mobility almost 6-7 years ago. This is where the world was going.
Yeah.
I took my vision to execute somewhere else. At that time, ticketless parking was a struggling business.
Why was it struggling? Well, what wasn't working?
Variety of things. It was a family owned. They had a very good run.
It's still family owned, is it?
No, not anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, they had a good run, and it gets to a point where like, okay, now we need someone to take it to the next level.
And the CEO at the time was family, was they, or were they
Yes.
external? Okay, got it.
So we did the buyout, and
so you did a management buyout?
Yeah,
okay,
pretty much.
Yep.
And now one of the non-executive director from the previous work, he's also an NED at because we both share a vision in Pete Seligman, and he's now also joined us in 21 July, something like that. So first things first, what we need to do is steer the ship in the right direction. It's like, okay, this is where we're going analog and supporting analog. We need to slowly start steering the ship towards digital. Let's fix the tech stack. Let's come up with a story, because if you are telling a story to a customer, and if you believe in that story, the customer would believe in it. And this is what is happening now, 3, 4, 5 years later, that when our team, not just me now, tells that story and the vision, then the customer is like, okay, I believe it. And this is exactly what happened to the team as well. There were people who did not believe. And there were people who were very excited, or there were other clams that say, look, I'm neither.
What did the CEO say at the time? Was the CEO a believer or not a believer? Because it's always very hard being a CEO trying to convince a CEO of a new strategy, especially if the old one was at least moderately successful.
Yeah, so I and the board appointed me as the CEO, and
that prior CEO left the business?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, he was transitioning out.
Okay.
The idea at that time is that if we were to find ourselves to go digital way here, what are the changes required today without losing the oxygen to feed the family, right? Families and the work family. So the whole idea is that there's a speed and a direction of matters, and without compromising the existing customers and the visions, things like that. So the whole it wasn't an easy battle, but
explain to me, like, how did you get the board on your side for this? Was it obvious, easy, or was it complex and nuanced?
The board needs to be, to an extent, supportive. Look, currently,
how did you get the board to be supportive?
So even today, or as simple as, we grow out of this office space, we need to go to a bigger office space. The board now has an expectation from me, and they know that this is how Japan does the homework, and this is how he represents the logic and the data. And Japan is also open for a counter questions and things like that. And he's also okay for us to give him logic to say, okay, I don't think this is a good idea. And here's the logic. But majority of the time then I evolve and then go back so that they don't have to go through this. So it's the relationship that needs to mature and develop, right? Day one, a newly appointed CEO and a board of directors isn't always aligned. This is something that
But how did you get them aligned to go down this payments path, right? Well, they've got an existing CEO, business is surviving, it's doing okay, got this new CEO that joined a year ago, he's saying we should go in this direction. This guy, perhaps in this scenario, saying we're not, we shouldn't go in that direction. How do you convince a board of that change?
So the first things first is that whatever, when somebody says that when people hire a C-level executive, they don't hire to change nothing, they hire to bring in the change. The first things first, the board does expect you to go and suggest a change. Number one thing. They don't like anybody to come on a whim that let's try this.
Yeah.
So the first you have to, what I showed is lay the foundations, like, okay, in your perception, in my perception, in the team's perception, and the customer perception, this is not working. What's the problem we're solving? Are we solving a problem that will help us get by? Or growth? Oh, growth. Well, the growth, what is it that we do in parking? Oh, we do image processing, identify vehicle. So we can collect the money. So this whole game of parking is about money. Because people want money from renting the real estate that they own. So end of the day, this whole game is all about money. So how do we make it so simple that people never, you have Netflix subscription, I hope. When was the last time you even saw how much they charge and exactly?
Years ago. Don't even notice anymore.
Exactly the point. So if you make it so seamless, that nobody needs to, they're like, okay, they must be doing the right thing. And it's in subscription, it's in good hands, and like they have my card details. I enjoy what I do, so I'm not going to complain that it was $9 and now it's $29 because it's so simple. It's so seamless. This is exactly what the direction. And then my thing was like, not how we're going to do it. Its first thing was why we need to do. And the whole idea was, let's simplify the payments. The tech to support will come.
That's it. So, okay, so I get how you can take a board through that journey. Why were you not able to convince the CEO of that change?
I'm just trying to find the words. So because I don't want to come across as, that don't know, bad mouth or throw anybody under the bus, because everybody has a vision. Some things work and some don't, right? I take business being, from being Guju, it's all business mindset, and it's all about that. My family says that my EQ is 0 when it comes to, which is, I continue to argue, say it's not. But the thing is that when you have your wife and a son and daughter and a son-in-law and all this, brutally called nepotism, there are too many emotional, authoritative voices driving your decision rather than a vision driving an execution. Right.
I mean, that happens a lot that I see in like family businesses or just businesses that exist for while people work for a long time, where your personal relationship is actually more important than doing what's right. And you support the person, not necessarily what they're saying.
Correct. And I think that's the golden key, right? I have investment in 3 different other businesses as well. Each time I did have a conversation over a drink or a dinner table, or a sincere study conversation with my better half. Say, this is the concept, and this is what the CEO or the founder is, and this is the direction. And I think I'm going to put in some and buy some, get some equity in that. She rightfully has not always agreed. There are some issues like, well, I don't know. I don't really see that vision, but I'm just here to be the sanity check and tell you what I feel like. She has never made my life difficult to say, you invested because I told you, and blah, blah, blah. But what happens is when somebody is involved too deep into that, and that becomes your life, then it's like 4 people trying to steer one car to get to the destination. It's bound to crash into something. I think at some point, this is where the problem is, is that when the founders and the CEO, because the cash is tight in the starting business.
Oh, so that CEO was the founder as well, were they?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
and then the cash is tight, then people generally make these mistakes like, oh, my wife does a very good accounts of home. We never, have this, that. What if she does this? Right? There's, I mean, there are other businesses that I know that's like, oh,
Because I mean, just on that, it's near impossible if you are a founder and you get family in the business. It's near impossible to be objective.
Yes.
I've not found someone who is.
Yes.
Especially if you have your son, your wife, your cousins, your nephews. They might be very competent at their role, but if you need to fire them, that's super hard. And almost never, no one ever does.
It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
That was one of the challenge in quite a few. I mean, two best friends probably would work. Any immediate family,
it's very difficult.
It's tough. Okay. I mean, my advice to any founder and CEO is, even if your family wants to volunteer and help, unless it is cooking at a barbecue event near the Christmas and it has a start and a middle and an end, and there is no ongoing commitment, please don't.
And so it would have been a super high risk thing, right, for you to go with this strategy. The founder has a view, the CEO has a view. That would have been a high risk thing to go. Because imagine what would have happened. You would have had hundreds of conversations before this, right? To try to convince them, hey, here's the future. We're not in ticketless parking anymore. There's a payments game coming on over the next couple of years. We need to pivot our staff, pivot our cost base, pivot our investment.
I think this is where the board, I mean, as a CEO, what I very, very strongly believe, that any business that I'm involved in, regardless of the CEO position or NED or advisor, is the key role is to increase the value of the enterprise. And that is what we owe to the shareholders. There's nothing else. Every day you need to, for most of the decisions, big ones, they need to ask, like, is it going to help increase the value?
Every board member will agree with that. They just won't agree on how to do that.
Correct.
And your job is to convince them that your way on how to do that is better than plan A. Plan B is actually better than plan A.
And then comes to the picture, right? So I believe in a very simple formula that, vision plus strategy plus execution is the growth. So first you give them a vision, right? People was like, oh, this is great. Now you showed us this blue sky. Great, genius. Now tell us who's going to do it and how is it? That's the strategy, right?
And did you have to convince that before they appointed you as CEO? Or could you figure that out after you're in the seat?
To an extent is always before. There is always this Rubik Cube on the tables. Like, if you solve this, then we know.
Then we believed you.
Then we believe you. So that at that point in time, they were raising capital based on an idea, and they were this is in a peak or trailing COVID days. And everybody was looking for a reason to get out of the house, and said, "Oh, we have a meeting with a few capital." One of them was with Raj, and they showed us the IM, and they're like, "Well, what do you think?" The conversation was already in this, like, we are considering you to steer this business in a right direction or a different direction. And when I looked at the IM, we were about to walk into the meeting with the PE firm, family office. And I said, this whole thing is a flawed proposition. It's like, why? And I give them 5 or 6.
And so this is ticketless parking.
Yes.
Original IM. Based on the historical strategy?
Yes.
Okay.
And then so I said, this is kind of flawed. This is why. We walk in, and then 10, 15 minutes later, the PE firm says, well, the short answer is no, we won't invest. Or we're open to give you a feedback if you want. Sure. They pretty much said the same thing. So now
what are they saying?
They're pretty much saying that, look, this is not how it is. And if you really start giving out the hardware at no cost, there is no guarantee that you would have so many customers lined up. It's not like Apple starts to giving Apple iPhones out at no cost, then everybody will pay for a subscription.
Sure.
And then even if you give
So what
money
your model was, you get rid of the upfront cost, you have a subscription fee monthly, you hold them for many years, you have a...
Yeah, then they're like, okay, so how much is it if the average cost of leasing, per site, for example, is $100,000, you're asking for $1 million, hypothetically, throwing numbers. What are you going to do after 10 lanes or 10 sites? You're going to say, sorry, we ran out, but stay in line. When we recoup the money a year and a half later, you'll be the next in line. That's not going to work.
You have the requirement for that business.
Correct. And then people will do it now, today, because it's tried and tested and proven, not when you're like, I can do this. I'll give... Yeah.
And firstly, what's your churn like? Like, do people ever leave you? I mean, once you're in, I assume you're in forever, are you?
No, there
are
are a couple of them who actually... See, there are a few players always. It's like, if I give you an example of a car.
Yep.
You have a car and it's being driven by a chauffeur and it's being serviced by somebody, or the dealer where you bought it from. Now that chauffeur is very happy and he knows the mechanic who's servicing, and life goes on. 5 years later, the mechanic changes and the chauffeur also changes, or may not change. But then chauffeur will come back and says, look, this is a bad place to get serviced. Or if the mechanic is the same, but the chauffeur changes, it will come back to you and then it says, look, I don't think this is a good car.
Yeah. But isn't like the cost of your hardware, your boom gates, like, isn't that quite an impediment to go put someone else's system in, or is it not that great? If people wanted to leave, could they, kind of thing, or?
Yeah, it's always a return on investment, right? Yeah. So even nowadays, we go in with a story of return on investment. Like if you have an old ticketed system or a new system, if you have this many cars leave without paying, or if every car pulls a 10-cent ticket, and in Lane Co, as you saw, they get about 7,000 cars a day. And if you have to pay $700 for the paper that is of no use, for that money, you can get a new system. So it's all about return.
And how long does your hardware tend to last? Like, how long before they naturally... again?
No. So in terms of our oldest customers, like North Sydney or Wellesley Hospitals or Lane Co, they're 10 plus years.
Okay, so it's
the only moving...
So you'd be on like low single digits churn, I'd imagine, right? Like when someone gets you, they probably stay with you for a long time unless they need to naturally change their hardware.
Absolutely. So most of our customers are under, we call it a care package, Ticketless Care, which is like an extended warranty. If it naturally breaks, if the computer dies or the moving arm falls off or something like that, it's on us.
Okay.
We'll change it. There's a fixed fee for parts, labor, and software. You never have to worry about, unless it is vandalism. If it is vandalism, capture on camera, some insurance is gonna pay for it. They don't really care. So end of the day, if I can give you a peace of mind to say anything happens to your car, you never have to pay a penny unless you ram into a wall. Then it's on you. And that seemed to be working very, very well.
Okay, so the private equity story makes sense. You went, you pitched. They weren't going to buy in the old ticketless parking system. You had to pivot your story if you wanted to raise capital. So that makes a lot of sense in why the board would support the new story, because if you couldn't raise capital, there'd be other challenges, I'm sure, in the organization. So is that when the board decided, let's go down this payment strategy?
So the board decided, firstly, is that if this is not, so what was the fundamental problem? The fundamental problem was twofold. One was the solution itself was new, like full self-driving, right? FSD, a lot of people are trying right now because it's like, what, $150 a month type of thing, right? Not bad. I'll try it for a month. If it works for me, if I can milk it, then why not? And if I can't, I'll just stop, right? Because it's affordable. If it was $10,000, nobody's buying it. So the whole idea was that, okay, how do I make it so that people don't feel that I'm taking a massive risk by doing this new tech. So I had to first fix the tech stack. and we had a great team. They are still on board. And our head of tech has been with the business for almost 12 years now. So, and then we got new team members as well. So first things first was, let's fix the stack.
Yeah.
Right. At the same time, let's go out. Let's go to
And this was once you were CEO, was it?
Yes.
So as that transition happened, right? As you either stab the old guy in the back, slit his throat, front stab him, however it happens, right? It's always messy when it ends. I've been there. It's always a Hunger Games towards the end. It totally is.
I 100% agree with you. It's a matter of perception, right? I mean, I wasn't there with an intention that this is it. You know, I'm here.
It naturally evolves, right? It
just like I'm number 7.
Yeah.
And I have to be the last one standing because that's the job. That's the nature of the game.
So then you step in as the CEO. What does your exec team look like? Because these are still people that have had the old vision. Some are bought in, some are not. Some might be family. Some might be very loyal to the prior person. How does that change happen?
It's funny that there were some individuals in the team that were, they had created a self deadline. Like if nothing happens by Christmas, I'm going to leave.
As in nothing happens for the payment system by Christmas?
Nothing happens to the business and the leadership team. And
this is once you're a CEO, was it?
No, I found out later on, like our head of operations was almost out of the door to say, if this is what it is, I'm gone unless the board changes something.
Oh, okay. So if we don't pivot our ticket strategy, then I'm leaving. Okay, got it.
So then when I was put on the CEO's chair, they extended. There's like, okay, I'll give another 6 months to see what this guy does.
Yeah, to see if this guy's any good.
Because how long
have you been there for now? At this stage?
January is going to be 5 years.
No, how long have you been there before you stepped in as CEO?
Couple of months.
Oh wow, so still very new. Who's this guy?
They're like, okay, so you know, and what is he going to do? You know,
like that's a very quick coup. A couple of months.
As in the changeover.
The changeover
happened. No, I was appointed, but the changeover was going to happen over 1.5 to 2 years.
Oh, you transitioned.
Painful.
Oh, okay, sure.
But it's. I mean, like I said, I wasn't there to do it. It just, this is the pathway.
It evolves. Yeah, totally.
Everybody's agreeing.
Yeah.
If you're not, it doesn't matter who you are. This is it.
Yeah.
You know, take it or leave it type of thing. So the head of operations had ideas and plans and thoughts, and it's like, okay, you know, this is everything on the table, full disclosure. What do you think? And I was like, okay, I like these 6 cards, and the other 4 can be parked. And I'm like, okay, well, at least something is happening now. Let's see if he's a man of the true words.
What percentage of your exec team churned in the following 12 months?
I had the sales and marketing individual leave because couldn't take the new.
So sales marketing. Did you keep your CFO or did you swap them out?
We actually we outsourced it to Kelly Partners.
So you got rid of your existing one, got a fractional outsourced. What about like the ops person? That's the other.
The ops person is the one who remained. The head of engineering. So his gripe was that I've been here for too long, and I'm very happy to support and integrate with other systems, but don't ask me to do new research, new.
Payments is so different, right? Like it's so different.
Correct. So we had to go and get someone to do that. But then his idea was that if somebody is coming up with a new.
Was that person on top of this head of engineering? Or
no, I kept it in the same.
So you had 2 reports. You had a head of engineering. And what was your head of innovation or head of payments or?
Emerging tech.
Emerging tech, okay.
So R&D, basically.
Right, so you satisfied the engineering guy, so you wouldn't lose that IP, but you had someone come in that could actually start building up some of this new stuff that you're talking about. Okay.
So that's exactly what we did. And then they eventually... I mean, there are still sparks at times.
Always.
But then in the grand scheme of things, and, you know, one of the CEO's role is at times a glorified HR.
I'd say a counselor. couples therapist, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, I was in a meeting and this is how,
They said this, he said that.
like,
Blah,
okay,
yep.
let's unwind and let's talk because we don't want to digress into this thing. It's
Yeah.
like a family, right? But then I make sure that one, I don't go overboard
Yeah.
favoring anyone.
Yep.
And at the same time, I believe that every conversation, phone call, email, and it needs to have a conclusive outcome and a direction.
Why did you choose to make them peers? Why not put the new guy on top? I'll tell you why. Because doing that, I mean, it's insanely brave to do that, by the way, but it sends a message that this is the new direction of the organization. But I agree, it risks your head of engineering leaving, getting upset, and you losing that IP. Why did you not put them on top?
Firstly is there is always, it's all about, if you draw two circles, it's all about how much of is an overlap, right? If you make sure that it doesn't overlap more than 30%,
Yeah.
that's the right way to strengthen, because we already had a very strong customer base. They trusted in this individual. They were very comfortable to pick up the phone and says, hey, I can't see anything on my screen. What's happening?
Yeah.
I didn't want to send a message out who would also refer us to other customers to say, oh my God, this new guy is getting rid of people left, right, and center. Now, if the sales and marketing, for example, says, no, from now on, this is what we are heading towards. Like, that's not going to happen. It's like, no, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of here then.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice knowing you. That's how simple it is.
But just on the engineering guy, before we move off there, so I totally hear you, right? Because from a pure risk mitigation, like you always want to play to those egos, right? Like you don't want to upset them. Engineers, I'm an engineer. You can be a funny bunch.
Yep.
So that kind of makes sense. But then you'll have an organization where you'll have almost like two engineering departments, right?
Yes.
How do you manage that?
So one is it's pretty straightforward, right? So one is an emerging tech. They come up with an idea, or it's the demand from the market, or somebody's vision, or it's a matter of integration. It's like, okay, these people have solved this problem, and now they want to work with us. So, hey, emerging tech, can you see if we can integrate and do this? Then the other tech department is like, okay, I've come up with this smart bulb that fits into the old lamp. And there's a basic app that has on and off button. I have done my part.
Yeah.
I need someone to take it from there so they can move on to the next project.
Yep.
While this person says, above on and off switch, I can even make it change colors if there's a market out there. So suddenly now we have a commercial team and says, okay, let me find out. Don't start working on it. But they may come back and say, look, people don't want different colors. They want it to be automatically coming on and off based on the timing. Can you do that?
Yeah.
If I had to go back to the emerging tech, then suddenly you are evolving the existing tech rather than emerging from completely new
But
tech.
how effective is that handover between because a lot of organizations try this, right? You've got an existing engineering department, you can't change it, it's too hard, they're stuck in legacy, they've got to maintain daily applications, they just can't do the new stuff. If they want to, they're just always too busy. So the standard solution is, okay, cool, I'll create a separate innovation department, emerging tech department. How do you make sure that handover happens, right? Once they build something that then this engineering BAU department actually takes over that?
So some days, this is where the glorified HR comes into play, but I am a very strong believer of documentation and in a platform where all the documentation is handed over. So what happens is that a lot of people call it sprint or whatever. So we have the milestones logged into, let's say we use Atlassian, so in Jira. It's not like oh, can I get this? It's not like a restaurant where you go and says, can I order this? And it just comes and says, oh, it doesn't taste like I expecting. We define the milestones, like, okay, at every checkpoint, you need to try this, you need to do this. So make sure that neither that person is digressing or you are not also anchoring them down. There is a constant reminder that I also do, and I have a leadership connect with my leadership team only, where I'm a very open and transparent individual to a certain extent. I would share anything and everything that I can share without violating any privacy or anything or vision or distracting them about something. I show them numbers, I show them strategy, I get their take their feedback sincerely. As long as everybody is on board to say, this is why we are going into this direction.
But the nuance is like, how do you make sure the engineering team take on the innovation or the emerging tech? And I think it's more than just systems, right? Because I think what you got to do, and perhaps you succeeded, was you need to get these guys to be intellectual peers with each other, that they actually mutually respect each other. So if this guy builds it, this guy will take it on. How did you do that? How have you got that working?
There's still so end of the day, it's always the case where one individual would just say, this is the outcome we want, which is the internal customer. It's me or ops team or the customer. Then I have them initially discuss how, like what are the pathways, right? This is where the most of the struggle is, because they all want to get to the different way.
But they'll have different mindsets, right? One would have a tech payment mindset. One would have a.
Simplest thing is one says, okay, I don't think that Python is the right platform to write a code and this and that, blah, blah. Then as the leader of the troop, you need to step in and say, okay, why are you against Python? Oh, I don't know how to support Python if we make something in Python. What if I get you somebody to support Python and understand blah, blah? Would you be able to have a conversation? And the bigger thing is that a longer and more tedious and a painful way? Or it's a shorter way and a better way?
But the stuff you're talking about, I wonder if that's the symptoms. Like that's the symptoms, right? We're bickering over stuff which is actually not of consequence. What's the actual root of that problem between those two kind of teams?
So nowadays, most of the businesses have split the emerging tech and the support separately, and technically, there should not be in the support team because nothing should break and nothing should require fixing. But they always like, oh, they didn't make it right, so now I'm out there fixing it. But it does happen. Nothing is fail safe and 100%. I think it's more about everybody grew up in a different mindset and went to different environments, and we are made of.
How do you weave them together?
With the vision. I've always focused on a very, very clear.
And what vision what vision did you get them to buy into?
Is that milestone? That like this is the grander vision. So for example, I'll give an example that there's a business called Easy Park, which offers an app. Which offers an app. Now there are 5 million Easy Park app users, and somebody come up with an idea that if I'm an Easy Park app user, I drive into Laneco and I drive out of Laneco, I should get a push notification that, hey, Ticketless, your camera captured me going in, your camera captured me going out, and this is the money you took. I'm never going to be infringed. Then the concept is, and not getting into too tech, is that do we push or do we pull? Right? What is the right way? The vision is Easy Park app user, in, out, push notification, payment. Let's see how we get there. Right? And this is the timeline. Without getting into resistance and stuff like that, the most important one is I had to sell it to them, say why this is important. Is it going to make our product more profitable and sellable? Right. And now that has become a foundational question that if anybody comes up with an idea, the internal question is like, we will eventually have to answer. Is it making
more
our
money out of it?
exactly, or make it more sellable?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, why bother?
Mhm.
If this answer is yes, then they're like, okay, I have my way and we have your way. So let's find our way, because there is no question about it that this is a good idea. We need to get there. So you win some, you lose some. It's the culture you set up. And you know, I've also realized now, being involved in few businesses, that you can sense the culture the moment you talk to 3 or 4 people. I can even say what the CEO of that business would be like if I speak to the leadership team, or even a technician's boots on the ground, that what is your culture and how is it, you know, is it really a tech driven, or the labor driven, or the fist on the table driven culture or not. And for me, it's more of a cause driven. The cause is, if it makes our solution more sellable and profitable, that's good enough. And that's the culture.
And then that's enough for those two guys to work together.
They have made their peace. And for now, it's been 3 years. They've been working
persisted for a while. Okay.
Yeah. And what I think is also working is, I mean, COVID taught us a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. But the emerging tech head of emerging tech sits in Melbourne. Every now and then we get him and he spends time here.
And your engineering team's in Sydney.
Is in Sydney. I also feel that when people are not in their face at all the time and looking, what are you doing?
Sometimes separation is good.
Is good.
Yeah.
Is good.
So the head of emerging tech, is his team, you've built one in Melbourne with him, or is his team's in Sydney as well?
Bit of both. So he has people who, you know, now, again, the COVID thing is like, okay, let's find the best
They're just the most everywhere. Yep.
Right? Doesn't matter where geographically. I mean, you know, if they're in Sydney, there's an office.
Yep.
If they're in Melbourne, there's a place. But end of the day, with this virtual calling and screen sharing and all these things, and Slack messaging and emails and stuff like that, it's a virtual room, right? I mean, and they all are. I mean, there are days where they're like, oh, I mean, simplest thing is, I love the dark theme on my devices. And then the head of emerging tech is saying it's putting me to sleep. So I'm going to have our dev team also have a lighter theme. And I said, does it make our product more sellable or profitable? He's like, I'm sure that if you ask customers, not everybody likes the dark theme. It's like, who doesn't like dark themes? Then I had some of our engineers go and talk to our customers. Funny enough, they come back and say, like, yeah. Please make sure that there is an option. So then I also made logical sense. Like, why our Apple devices or any other still have this auto or optional theme? Because there must be some takers. Not everybody likes back. Right? So the answer came back, and I was like, fair enough. You made your point. So now you go ahead and do it. Right.
So you've got those two teams working together. How come the head of sales and marketing didn't work out? How come you weren't able to convince them, or was the performance not high enough to warrant the effort to convince them?
No, I don't think it's the way. We currently have, you know, very clear process that first and the foremost thing is the foundation is the venue at the prospect level. The more work you do, the easier it is at the tail end, right?
Totally.
You cannot force a decision of a customer. Everybody has a choice. But then I remember that when we were buying a new bed, the store, we must have gone to like half a dozen stores, right? You know, women shopping is, but you know, have to see everything. At the end of the day, when we were having a cup of tea at home and assessing that, you know, which one did you like? The only thing that my wife and I remembered was the girl who was superstar in attending us, and we didn't even remember which beds she showed, right? She never threw, and what I really like and what we have now is, if you're a customer, if you ask me, it's like, well, tell me why Ticketless is better than your competitor, right? Some people love that question and they embark on the journey of, let me tell you how bad this other product is. That's not how you convince somebody to buy your product, because it's the best of the worst bunch, right?
Well, what was that salesperson's method successful?
It wasn't. There are some people who actually, it may work in some very minor cases, because if you had, let's say if you had a Samsung TV, giving you so much trouble, and somebody comes and says, oh my God, you have Samsung, I feel bad for you, blah, blah. I have a TCL, but I don't want to talk about it. Let's whinge about your Samsung TV. Then you suddenly have connections like, okay, we both don't like Samsung, and you're selling TCL, I'll consider it. Right. But that's
So
not
how
how
long had this sales guy not been successful for? Was it quite a while, or was it?
No, didn't even take less than 4 months, because I kept saying that we went to the meetings together, and very, very quickly they digress to the different conversations, like, oh that, oh my God, I heard there are a lot of problems, and we don't talk about it. It's like, then what else do you talk about?
How long had the salesperson been there for?
Almost 3 years.
And how come the prior CEO hadn't got rid of them if they weren't succeeding?
Again, if you don't know what is the right or the better way, then you just think this must be the way.
But salespeople performance is so black and white, right? Like everything else is great. Engineering is great. HR is great. Finance is great.
When I come to think of it, they may like to engage into that let's complain conversation. And at some cases it has worked. But then they don't know in some cases why because the customer won't come back to you. It's like, oh, I'm not going to buy from you because you complain and talk crap about other product. They're like, oh, no, we found a better one. People have that thing. Sometimes they're just not given a feedback. They're like, why not? Then in that.
So I think the nuance of why people do that is some people mistake things that feel good for things that feel bad. And then they actually crave things that feel bad, because somewhere in their mind that switch is just totally flipped the wrong way. And that's why some people like whinging about stuff.
Yeah, that's correct.
It actually makes you feel bad, but then you crave that bad feeling more and more. And those people tend not to rise very high up in organizations. There's a definite ceiling for them. So if your salesperson was that and they found an equal whinger on the other side, I reckon that whinger wouldn't have had a lot of influence. So whatever deep relationships they built, they would have been with meaningless people, because the guys up high would probably not be of that personality type.
The decision makers, and I used to always tell them that, he said, oh, I speak to Alex. I've been speaking with him almost every day for an hour. So it's like, firstly, Alex must not be a decision maker, because if somebody has 1 hour to talk to you, trust me, it's not a decision maker. You're
just probably nothing to do, and they're bored and they want to chat to somebody.
Not even an influencer, right? So very, very quickly, we in the early days, one of the board member put us in touch with, his name is Simon. He has a business, and they do the sales training. And he taught us a very simple but a very, very great thing. It's like, always get to the bottom of BANT qualification, which is called budget, authority, need, and time. And always know what is the next step. If you don't know what is the next step, that means you have lost control over the deal. It gets to a point where it's like, I don't want to stand here and find out when are you buying, when are you buying. You have everything what it takes. You know where I am. I'm just a phone call or an email away. I'll leave it to you. So we have a category in CRM, is awaiting decision. And awaiting decision probably has no follow-up task unless the customer has asked specifically to say, I'll get back to you on Tuesday. Like,
I mean, a waiting decision means the salesperson doesn't actually know what's happening. It's somehow gone into a black box and they've just lost visibility.
Pretty much. So,
so that person left. Were you able to replace them with someone effective? Did you have to go through a few cycles?
We had someone who was still with the business, but in a contract capacity, because he is also successful on the other layer on the management side and stuff like that. Some businesses are sales cycles are pretty lengthy, and it's a lot to do with the relationship. We also realized that.
So why do you have a contract salesperson? I thought that would be a core competence that you want to have internally, have a full-time person dedicated towards that.
So
hold that IP.
So what it is that what we navigated the business a year and a half ago is currently our head of operations, who's also on commercial, he understands the tech very, very well. And I am probably the most vested have a vested interest into the business and its growth. We realized that if you have one person doing everything, the sales team, if I break a sales process into 2 or 3 sections, the first is lead. Like you find out, who may buy. Then second layer is the qualification. Like, is that really a tire kicker or buyer? Right. When you find that this is not a tire kicker, it's a real buyer,
real deal.
You need to get somebody, because we sell tech solutions.
So there'll be a technical pre-sales person or a product person or
so then that is the best one who's coming from within, who understand the tech, because most of the customer, when you are actually, they are qualifying you for the right solution or not, they are asking you the technical question. Most of the salespeople that unfortunately I've come across is they don't want to get into the depths of it. They want to move on to the next one. It's like, okay, I found it. I've done my pre-sale or this. Now you do what you need to do, convince them, and then when they're ready to buy, I'll re-engage.
How successful is that working?
Never.
But then isn't that what you have now?
No, one person. One person never works.
How successful is that method where you have a contract salesperson? They open the door, find the prospect, qualify it. Product person comes in, and then either these two guys close it at the end. Does that work for you guys?
Very, very well. So what is happening is that the reason the person is on a contract, or it could be on the payroll, doesn't matter. But then because the tail end is that the reward is when you lock in the business. The lead generation, there's a lot of database and information available. They are great into going and knocking on the door and saying, have you heard of this and this and that? Get them excited. When it gets to a point, then the customer really will value that, okay, now I'm really talking to someone who understands the solution. All the questions are not, I'll get back to you, or the moment you said, I'll get back to you, they're busy doing something else.
And they may never talk to you ever again because they're busy.
Exactly. So, and then the reason I'm also heavily involved is that once they are very convinced with the tech, then it very, very quickly it evolves into the pricing negotiation. Right?
Who does that? Is that the salesperson or is that you in this case?
So what I've done is that now the salesperson doesn't do it. They draft we have online portals. They just enter information. And then that portal spits out a proposal. Then the proposal, we walk them through. At that time, they start asking technical questions. The initial lead gen person's job more or less is done.
They kind of drop off a bit.
They're like, okay, they are talking. And then that's the typical organic stage. And then from the tech starts to go away. And then it's very invariably the question comes to, hey, you guys are great. We love everything about your tech,
Yep.
but why is it 10,000 more?
Yeah. Who's at the table from your side during that conversation?
So it starts with our
The salesperson's
commercial and operations
So the commercial
individual.
person. Okay. Yeah.
And I have given him that, you have, I'm throwing a number, you have 10% buffer.
Yep. Here's your
to agree,
delegated authority
right?
for how much you can
Anything
discount.
above 10%,
It's got to come to you. Yep.
you need to come to me.
Yeah.
But then he's very, very smart, also very good in negotiations and stuff like that. And then, that there are chances like, look, I mean, I really, either he sometimes comes to me and says, look, we really need this business. These guys are asking this much.
Yep.
Here's our buffer. And this is, I think we can do. And this is something, Bill, that you can do. Do you want to have this conversation, or do you want me to take it? Depending on the quantum, the size of the deal that I engage to make them important, is like, okay, now we are talking to the CEOs
the boss is here.
Right.
The boss cares.
So now, and this is the stage where I also make a point that I'm here to seal the deal.
Yeah.
This is not like, we'll take it from here and we'll think and come back. They know that this meeting is a decision making.
You're dealing with like the CEO at this stage on their side, or the head of whatever department it is.
Correct. And literally the authority decision maker. And I also counter question them like, okay, can you do it in 65? Why? And they don't have an answer. It's like, if you want to go to your CFO and you want to win, that look, everybody else is 70, I got a 65.
My KPI, yep.
I always tell this story to those in a funny way. And that one time this salesperson went on a sales trip and comes back, submits a reimbursement expense reimbursement. And I'm like, okay, flight and a taxi and a coffee and blah blah. And there's this hat of $35. So the CFO says, "What the heck is this hat?" The sales guy said, "Well, it was a hot day, and then I had to get a hat." It's like, well, you should have thought about it before. I mean, I'm not paying for your hat. The total was $835. Like, get rid of this hat, right? It goes away and blah blah, and comes back in a couple of hours later. Fly this, blah. There is no hat. It's like, the bottom is still $835. He's like, how is that? Like, you want the hat gone? It's gone. Find the hat. That's exactly what happened. You want $65,000? The hat is there.
Yeah.
You're just not seeing it. I'll put the hat somewhere else.
There's some other cost base.
Right? So if you want to win, I'll give you a reason to win today. But end of the day, when the cards, unfold,
it'll be in your care package. There'll be some servicing. Everyone's got to make some money on the way through.
And I think end of the day, once the deal is done, we build the relationship. It's like, look, you won. We are now into business. We are here to help you make money, make your life simple. This is associated with money. And the whole focus is on that. And that has been working very, very, very well. We also have the lead gen person also do a bit of an account management. So when the project is delivered and is handed over to operations to maintain it, that person also goes and says, hey, how did you go? What's the experience?
And that's like a one-off? Is that quarterly? Is that like, what's the cadence for
that? It all depends. Now there are some customers who we do a quarterly touch point, whether sometimes an in-person visit or this also helps them, the new leads, right? Like if there is if
they're happy, do they know someone else that wants something?
We put in a hotel in the Sydney Olympic Park, and when they are looking for in that area for other hotels, like, hey, how are things? Does it have a coffee?
And that's what the lead gen salesperson does, those account management visits?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's just a touch point. It's like, hey, is there anyone else?
And how high in the organization are they able to build a relationship? Is that with the CEO, with the head of ops, with like a parking person? Like how
I think it goes to a level of whomever feels friendly with that individual. So sometimes it's the head of facilities, sometimes it's the head of engineering in the hotel, sometimes the GM himself or herself.
Yeah, it's whoever has the time, cares enough about the parking system, we'll go and meet them.
I mean, we have received recommendations where the GM says, "Oh, talk to the head of F&B."
Yep.
Because her wife works into blah hotel as a CFO or finance manager.
Yeah.
So you go and talk to them, and that person says, "Oh yeah, go and talk to them." And then now, a few months later, we go there. So
and what depth do you keep in these customers? Because CEOs are super busy, right? You've got a lot of customers. You've got a lot of stuff. Did you get the mind space for that?
As much as not as enough as I would like to.
Obviously you get called in for crises. Every CEO gets those emails.
Exactly.
Everyone does.
And I at times feel bad that, I'm always talking to the customer, wearing PPEs and taking punches and making sure that they're happy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I always leave many customers saying they're like, we need to meet on a good note.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah.
Let's have a nice lunch.
Yeah, right.
Let's have a nice lunch. Yeah.
And I don't think there are enough days in a year to have that nice lunch. But what we try to do is we narrate success stories as well as the struggles.
Yeah.
So let's say there have been cases where we told them early days, we told them a story that this is your current expense with the old ticketed painful system. If you go here, this is a return on investment. 6 months later, I get a call and I was like, what happened now?
Yeah.
And the GM is saying,
you dread the phone call to see caller ID. Something
like, okay,
something's broken. Do I answer? Do I pretend?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't answer.
Yeah.
Right? And then I went to
called your
my ops person.
Hey, what's wrong? This guy's calling me.
He's calling me. What is there? He's like, I don't know. I said,
quick, log on, check, make sure it's working.
Is there? So then 15 minutes later, it's like, oh, sorry, I couldn't take your call then.
I was in this fake meeting.
I never lie. I never come up with something. I just always say the truth. Not all truth need to be said. So I always say, look, I couldn't take your call. You don't need to know the reasons, right? Fact. I couldn't take your call.
Yeah.
But here I am. What is it?
Yeah.
He said, oh, I just wanted to say that we just came back from a core group meeting and we had a forecast that we are going to make X amount of revenue in 12 months.
Yeah.
We're about to hit that in 6.
Yep.
So I don't know what magic you guys are doing, but it's amazing. Now we have doubled the forecast.
Yeah.
And I wanted to personally call you and thank you that if you're in the area, blah, blah. And
fantastic.
I said, look,
super rare. Fantastic.
This is a good story.
Yeah.
Right. Among the many, it's like, you need to get involved type of thing to this one. And then we said, okay, why don't we do this? It's not about that I'm a pat on the back hungry, but I'm going to go there and says, look, and now that I've helped you, can we use you as a case study to talk to others? At least you can do that.
Yep.
He's like, oh, as long as you don't publish the actual numbers, sure. And those are the stories that I love to get involved and bank on. And I think everybody should as well. It's not just that, oh, darn, let's be the fire truck and then only go out when there is a fire. Sometimes fun to be, on fire truck on a Christmas day and having fun with the kids as well.
But I wonder if you go back to our original problem, right? Like, how do we introduce new payment tech to clients? Let me suggest something to you. Tell me if this lands. So I get your sales process, right? You've got your lead generating person. He gets you in the door. You have some engineering, pre-sales, commercial ops. You'll come in over the top if you need to help kind of close the deal. And then the lead generator, who's probably, I'm going to just infer the depth of product knowledge is quite shallow. Like their expertise is how do I find someone who's looking for a system, not how do I do an organizational change from a ticketless parking to a payment gateway. That's your expertise, right? Like that's your thing as the CEO. If you have that level of person doing the quarterly meetings, how do you expect the client to go through this organizational change you want to get them through? Because my view would be you're the only guy that can actually take them on that journey, and account manager can't. Is that fair to say?
It's um, yes and no.
Yeah, tell me why. Yeah,
I think what it is I'll I mean I use the food and car analogies as an example. You know, you remember the old days where you go and buy a car, you greet by the front.
yep,
The salesperson is like, "Oh, can I go for a spin?" You can go out for a spin. They're sitting in the car, explain blah blah. Fine, let's do the negotiation.
yeah,
I have some questions. My wife has some questions. Can I connect Bluetooth? Blah
yep,
blah. Oh, let me get the tech guy, and then he can answer some or senior. Oh. So then another person has answered some techie question because this person really is the front
yep,
welcome. Oh, what is the deal you're looking? This is the changeover I'm looking for. Oh, let me ask my manager. The GM comes up.
yep,
And it's like, okay,
yep,
so I'm
yep,
standing and then he's sitting
yeah,
and then they're negotiating. And then now I'm suddenly negotiating with the GM, blah, blah. Hopefully, in most of the cases, you shake hands like, okay, we agree on this, blah, blah. And to say, we'll take it from here. And then once you do delivery, here's Jason. Jason is going to explain you when you come to pick up the delivery.
yep,
Phase number 4. And once you take the delivery, then John Doe is our service manager. Just tell them, they would know that you bought it from here and they will always be taken care of.
yeah,
You never see the guy who actually came with the test drive ever after buying a car.
yeah, true.
Does that is not any disappointment, but if the same person calls you 3 months later and it's like, how's your car?
Yeah,
Do you have a friend who wants to buy? That's tried and tested. We're kind of replicating the same
so
thing.
I agree with that strategy, right? That's a great way to get additional leads. But my challenge to you is that getting new leads, that's fantastic. They'll build a great relationship. That parking manager or FM manager will move somewhere else and they'll remember this guy and they'll take him along with them. I totally get that. And I'm sure that would be super successful. But to explain to an organization, like the original problem was like, how do I get my clients to buy into this payment tech and come on this journey with me? I reckon you've got the competence to explain that to somebody very effectively, very convincingly. I reckon a salesperson who's focused on leads and relationships might not have that ability. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I said, that is where it all depends on at what stage in a deal that I can make myself inject into
Assuming
the
that
process.
assuming that you had unlimited time, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll be the first point of contact to explain.
But I wonder, is that why you're not getting the traction that you're getting? So I'll give you an alternative world. An alternative world is that you suddenly had all this free time, everything operationally was running amazingly, and you could go meet your clients once every 3 months, 6 months, paint the vision of this payment, and take them on that journey. I reckon you'll do a better job of that than your salesperson will do.
Yeah. So what we are changing now is we have for next 6 months, 2026, first 6 months, we already have a calendar. Like this is the touch point. So me and our ops and commercial individual, once every fortnight, we do 2-day run to where the customer base
find a couple
is.
people, have some coffee.
And the customer sometimes like, oh, I'm the GM of the hotel. I never hear something about parking, so it must be good. But if you're in town, I'm busy, but talk to blah. Or sure, I'll have and talk to you. So what we have now done, or going to be but doing and now doing more of, and agree to your advice.
But before we jump onto the future plan, do you reckon that's a correct diagnosis as to why it hasn't succeeded to date?
So now,
is that the correct reason you have not got traction yet in that transition?
I don't
or is it more
why.
nuanced? Is it something else?
No, we have gotten. I mean, last 12 months has been phenomenal.
Yeah, what's in the depth that you want?
It's on the right track.
Yeah,
it has not gotten to where I wanted it to be. Is it because my expectation was too big or too high? or VR. I mean, it depends who you ask, right? I mean, but
then is it a problem? Like, is that a problem that exists that, because the original one was like, how do I intro a new payment tech to my clients?
it does.
Yeah.
It's the prime payment that does exist.
Yeah.
And
So what I'm trying to get to like, what's the core cause, right? Assuming the tech makes sense, assuming that's what the market wants, assuming that that's where it's going for. Like, why haven't we been able to succeed in that?
it's a good question. And then, question back to you is, if we change the heads, in your perception, do you think that going and talking to the customer who has already invested into a tech
Yeah.
and talking to them about the new and emerging tech is what you're suggesting? Or are you suggesting that the lead gen to talk to the new potential buyers and introducing them to the new tech is more effective?
I think you want to do both, right? Like, I mean, the reason I reckon lead gen will be effective is because when people go out to market again, they're always going to look for something more than they're getting today. So if they've got standard tickets, they want ticketless. If they've got ticketless, they want the next thing. Well, let's just assume payments and apps are the next thing. That client will probably be primed up, would have done some pre-research, and will naturally ask about those kind of things. So that lead gen totally makes sense, right? And you can collateralize that. That's standard. And a good salesperson can do that with like a good pre-sales ops backup. What I think is much more nuanced, but super valuable is your existing clients, right? Let's just say they're going to keep you for 10 years. We're 5 years into this journey. If I was you, I'd think, how do I get my hooks into these guys?
Yes.
How do I make this, I don't know, a B2B2C? So how do I make sure every one of their customers has the Ticketless Parking app? So in 5 years, they just can't leave me, right? I'm so valuable. If they want to leave me, they've got to get their, 100,000 residents of Lane Cove to go from Ticketless Parking to Easy Park, right?
Or they always think the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Oh, totally, right? So that is a much more nuanced, complex conversation. To say, look, I know we're only 5 years in, right? But I want a bit of money from you to buy this new tech. So I reckon it's going to do this and it's going to solve this problem and solve this and solve that. And that is a much more complex conversation.
And in your opinion,
and that's a conversation I reckon someone of your caliber would need to have.
I agree. It's making sense. It's making sense. But then again, it's a little bit of and this is something that you can shed light on. It's a chicken and egg thing, right? Like, okay, I want the business to grow.
Yep.
And I would be able to go and touch all these customers or all in Eastern Seaboard and Perth and everywhere else. Once the business has grown and I have spare time and money.
Yep.
Which will until I don't, I'm going to stay focused. Oh, but then it's not getting the traction it's the business has doubled in the last 12 months.
Yep.
I wanted it quadrupled.
Yeah.
But it's not quadrupling. Is it because of I haven't been out and about and focused too much? Oh, but I can't because
you got this problem, you got this problem, this person resigned.
Well, I don't think that the people is the problem. What I'm more thinking is like, okay, now tech is stabilized and this is what is happening. And now can I afford to be away from the business? And I have made myself, the reason I'm saying future is now I'm at a stage where I can confidently say that if I am away from physically, away from the office space 2 days a week, out and about, I know it won't derail.
Yep.
It has taken this long.
Yeah.
And I can see that, it's not quadrupled, but only doubled because I haven't done probably that. And rather than focusing here.
So I'll tell you why I've got authority to answer this question, then I'll kind of give you my 2 cents. So my confidence has gone from, running $100 million public company to being on boards. And what I learned, and I'm sure you learned this as you're on these startup boards, is the confidence goes from how do you run an organization, how do you be a CEO, to how do organizations run? Like, what is the similarity in these melodies? Because, half a dozen company boards, like you just get to watch the movie 5 or 6 times at once. And one nuance that I've found with CEOs, perhaps in your situation, is you're doing 2 jobs at once.
Yes.
You got to be this external innovator, salesperson, visionary, and you got to make everything operationally run. And that's why I found the organizations that have a pairing, and that might be your CFO, it might be a head of ops, someone that you have implicit trust from, and is almost what they call the implementer.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll just make sure everything operationally runs.
Yes.
Free you up. So when clients complain, they actually complain to them first. When someone has an HR problem, they go to them. When they need expenses, when they get that hat approved, right? They go to that person. And that then frees you up to go look at the external world. Because the external world problem is 10x harder than the internal world problem. But that's where you've got the competence, but like a head of ops might not have the competence for the external world.
Yeah.
So that's what I find happens is when you grow big enough and you get the right 2IC, that's where I see it working.
Yeah, I think that's that you hit on the nail on the head there. That the 2IC has always is the key, and
there's a nuance to the 2IC that I found as well. Is so if you look at your executive team, I think generally there's two types of people. Have you heard the cannon's ammo analogy?
Yep.
Yep. So just for people who haven't, so you got two types of employees. You got one that are cannons that you can literally give a problem to and they'll totally solve it. You got ammo that they can't actually solve something by themselves, but they can help someone else solve it. So the question you want to ask yourself, is my 2IC that cannon?
In order to, so currently, yes. So he
A lot of
only,
hesitation as you said that.
yeah, because I'll
explain why.
and I will. There are times when I know that he can solve and could have solved this issue.
Yeah.
But then there is also still the relationship is constantly building and evolving because the solution is
How long have you been together with this 2IC?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, so you got history, got.
But then what happened was that the solution he has his way.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to be me, right?
Yep.
I love the way his identity is and the problem solving method is. But there are times where I have to have that trust to say, in this particular situation, this is how you handle it, and it's consistent, right? It's that trust on the 2IC is very, very, very important. I don't think I have a trust issue, but it is to a point where I also don't want to burn him saying, now I am off doing this while you take care of all that. I at times feel myself torn that I want to help him and I don't want to just let him be until because there are people who would never come to you.
Yep.
You know what is happening. You're seeing during the email, would never coming to you. You're like, ask for it. It's very easy for me to solve. But at the same time, I don't want to feed them a fish. I want to rather feed them how to fish.
But what are you doing to build your 2IC's capability, right?
Yeah. So
is that a conscious effort on your part today?
Yes, it is. It is. Last 12 months, the focus was to that. The life happens. He had a baby boy, and
life changes.
Life changes. The baby started going to daycare and brought home all kinds of virus. So then 2IC is gone for a week. So it's getting to a point where, again, you're so right about the 2IC. The consistency and the capability are the two things. They both have to be at par. Like you have to have that trust, and then you have to have that consistently. It sometimes is there, and sometimes some days it's not.
But then him getting crooked for a week, that's a very narrow period of time. Over a 3 or 4 year time scale, is it consistently there?
So that's the thing, right? That when life happens, although, as I said earlier, my EQ is claiming to be zero, I also
Which I don't believe that, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
right,
Don't
right.
believe at all.
I also
Yeah.
don't want to be just like, well, I don't care if your wife and child is sick and struggling.
Yeah.
You're my 2IC. You need to be here, right? It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you? It's like, I'm just changing diapers.
Yeah.
Can I be in? I'll be there in first thing, but I'm keeping an eye on this.
Let me ask though, if you're a crook, do you go to work? Do you still jump on emails?
I do.
I'll tell you why. Let me perhaps suggest why is the importance of the company is above the importance of other things in your life. Is that kind of fair to say?
Yes.
And being a CEO of a company that's going through a huge growth phase, right? It becomes everything.
Yes.
It becomes everything. And perhaps with your 2IC at this specific microcosm of his life, rightfully so, maybe company's just not number one.
That is, I mean, I don't know his personal life, but could be the case. Could be the case. And one would never know that it has to become naturally. He has to see the vision.
It's a choice for him. But it's a choice that you can guide him towards. Or if you can't get him there, maybe he's still a fantastic 2IC, but then you need to build capability around him.
I was having similar conversation with one of the board of directors, my mentor as well. The thing is that because the business doubled, it's something that him and I can easily handle. Although I am looking at quadruple, he knows that the doubled business is easy for him to handle. If it was quadruple with the baby, there would be a different face and name. But for now, he's like, until it gets there, this is fine.
Yeah.
Is two people pushing the same growth agenda better than one? Obviously. Do I want to burn him because he's not pushing that 4X agenda while he can do this 2X comfortably? This is where sometimes you win some, you lose some, you give. It's like, okay, this stage in life, the business is not 4X. And I don't want to blame this particular behavior to be not there. But he is very well.
But the symptom of it is you're not getting the time you need to take your customers through this huge transformation.
True.
Like that's the end result. And there's many different reasons. But that's the end result.
True.
And is that okay?
No, it's not. And it has been on my mind. So that what is happening now?
So what does one do? Like how does one? So actually, before I even do, is that the solution? We think to free you up to be able to take your customers.
It always is. It always is. The 2IC.
So that's how we'll get your clients to come on this journey is by you being there.
So what has been happening, and this is where now identify the problem. Look for the solution. Identify the solution. Plan to execute the solution. The solution is to hand it over to 2IC and trust. And then while me being out and about, sometimes with him, sometimes without. There are two ways forward, and I'm preparing the business to do two ways. One is bootstrap, right? So the growth 2X to 4X will continue. And will be the driving force to do exactly that. And that is why I said in the future, I planned. If I had met you 2 years ago, I would have known that, this is the case. And I do that.
We'll talk again in 2 years. There'll be different problems in 2 years' time. Don't worry.
But because that didn't happen, and now I have to learn a bit hard way. It's called and the one is the bootstrap, and then other one is also inorganic growth, where we either acquire or merge into some bigger to become the dominant
buy someone
force.
else. Totally.
And if that's the case, then the direction for him is also very clear that this is his pathway forward, and this is where the business and that segment of the business will grow.
Yeah.
Whether he has the capacity and a willing to absorb more to become the 2IC of the bigger umbrella, time will tell.
Yep.
But if not, then I'm sure there will be my eye will be on the 2IC.
You'll have options in life. You'll have options.
Yeah.
Because I think no matter what you do in this next journey, is it getting to payments? Is it buying M&A? Is it, expanding to other regions? I always think you want your best people on your hardest problem. And this is the hardest problem, and you're probably the best person to do it. And you just can't do it if you get called into day-to-day.
Yes.
You have to be almost able to forget about the office for 2 days because you're out fighting the battles externally and someone else is fighting all the fires for you internally. And tell me if this lands, is that the problem to solve?
It is.
And if you solve that, will that solve all the other things we're talking about around getting clients on this journey, you getting time space with them?
So at this juncture, I completely agree. And if I compared the notes, what you arrived in our conversation 2 hours, I had arrived over my experience in the last 8 months. I may not know exactly. I know the execution plan. I know where to go, how to go about, and what would happen here. I have some plans and ideas to do that, but that is the pathway forward. And I couldn't agree that whether it's a new customer conversations or the old ones, I have been engaging myself more on the new customer conversations.
Both are great. Both are great use of your time.
Yeah. And then, or the existing one. You're absolutely right that I need to be that
But if it's been in your mind for 8 months, how come it's not a solved problem?
Because there were other alignment issues to solve. Because what happens is that when we were fixing the tech stack and getting the solution ready, I didn't also want to go out and sell a dream to the customer. This industry in a mobility.
But the problem isn't to sell the dream to the client. The problem is to free you up.
Yes.
How come that wasn't solved like 8 months ago when you kind of came to that conclusion?
I thought, being a father of kids, it didn't take me 1 year to, sometimes people, if this is where the promotion line is and this is where the fire line is, you just float in between.
Just enough to not get fired.
Just enough not get fired. Totally, right? So now it's like, okay, now while I'm working on the tech stack and emerging in this solution, package it, while I'm also thinking at the growth potential and things like that. Now that I have all that ready, now that bar has shifted up.
Totally.
Right? So if he's still floating here, he's obviously below that. So either he fixes his game or not.
So the last part I'd love to delve into is how do we help him? How do we get him there? How do we get him from here to support the next level of growth?
It's been weighing on my mind to quite some time. Like there are 2 ways that I work with the team in terms of motivation, right? One is that you show them the grander picture and the strategy and the vision behind it. If they're on board, they would undoubtedly step up. Or they would say that, look, I 100% agree with you. Right now, there is nothing more important than family. And it's taking a toll.
Totally honorable, totally respectable.
And if you want me to go out with the screwdriver with steel toes, I'll do it for next 24 months. Because I believe in the business and this is what I want to do. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that that person would come and says, look, I really admire your trust and belief in me, but I don't really have what it takes to go to the next level.
So they internally see it,
And I have an individual who said,
Yeah.
I want to do this, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then he tried it for 6 or 8 months. And then he came to me and it's like, look, I don't know if it was a one-way street, but I think I was performing so much better physically, mentally, and then I'm more happier there. So if still is up for takes, I'll like to go back, and I understand, blah, blah. And then very happily that, we put him back a little bit senior, and he's still comfortable there. So if he's honest, and say, yes, I can do it, right? Then the bigger question is that if he says, no, I can, I'm happy, easy. If he says, yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Why should I trust that?
I think the problem actually exists before that point. So, I think only 1 out of 100 people have true introspection. I think it's just 1% of the population that can actually see themselves, see what they're good at, see what they're not good at. So that's why I think those motivation thing that you kind of mentioned, like if you go to like a Tony Robbins thing, right? You're totally pumped, you're great, you're excited for about 3 months, and then you totally forget it.
Yep.
So the analogy I'll give is it's not about a motivation, it's cult level indoctrination.
Unpack that.
Yeah. So have you ever bought anything from Salesforce?
Yeah.
From the moment you call, it's a pre-gone conclusion you're going to sign up. It is it is a pre-gone conclusion, right? Because everybody in the organization has cult-like indoctrination that we need to sell. It's in the name, sales, and we're going to get this customer through, and everybody takes you through that journey. So then you think about, how do I get cult-like indoctrination about this vision, right? Here's where the organization is today. Here's where we want to get to. And this is actually quite a solved problem. Have you heard of enterprise operating systems?
Yes.
So there's lots of, just for those who haven't, so the thing with management is that, like, we've only kind of had to manage people for like 30 years, right? 30, 40 years. In our parents' generation, like, people just stayed in their job forever. 100 years ago, you probably didn't own any land, so you just had to work for the local government or local king. And so people have had choice in jobs for a very, very narrow slither of time. So we actually have to work as managers to solve that. And management in totality is not completely solved. In 100 years, it probably will be, but it's not a solved thing about how do you get 20 people completely aligned to one idea. And enterprise operating systems, there are about 3 or 4 different theories out there now. It's how people have thought about, how do I get 20 people completely aligned, cult level indoctrination into one vision? So the way we do it, and some comes on the board of, it's a combination of monthly meetings, weekly meetings, daily stand-ups, where everybody almost verbatim repeats the vision. This is my part. I've got to get, I don't know, number of leads I've got to get, number of installs I've got to get, how much cash I need to collect from the client, how much cash needs to be in the bank. And you review those metrics literally every single day.
Hammer it into that.
You completely hammer into it. Because what you'll find is that person that doesn't have that introspection, because plus introspection takes years, because they'll lie to themselves for the first year being like, I'm that person. Then they'll struggle for a year. And then last year, they'll wait for you to sack them. But when they get cult-like indoctrination, they see everybody else is buying into it. More often than not, they'll actually opt out themselves. They'll be like, I actually don't fit in this cult.
Yeah. That's what happens. Like the individual. It's like, okay, this is being hammered into everybody's heads. This is the way forward.
Yeah. This isn't
that's
for me.
Not me.
It doesn't fit. I just don't fit. So then I think what you might consider is, how do I do that on the operational side of my business? How do I get that cult-like indoctrination? Here's where we are. We're a ticketless parking system, the best, blah, blah, blah. We're getting to here. So this is what needs to happen. Here's my monthly objectives, my quarterlies, here's my weeklies, my dailies. Because you want to shorten that time that it helps you figure out if this person can succeed. Because it'll be so sad if it takes 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to change them out. And I don't know about you, but despite my best efforts, recruitment, I'm still 50-50. I still get it wrong half the time.
It's a flippable coin. I completely agree with you.
And I don't believe anyone is any better.
Yeah.
And then if you have to get someone else, well, you'll probably get it wrong half the time. So you lose another year and a half, 2 years, and you'll be in 2030.
It's painful. Yeah.
You'll be in 2030 and you'll be like, oh, I still don't have this sorted. So you want to compress the time and maximize this guy's chance of success.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that is the plan. It's a little bit of you also have a ton of self-doubt, which, it's not a bad thing to have go through these notions. Like, I was thinking, do I have...
Explain self-doubt a bit more. Yeah.
So, for example, I always learned that if somebody says, "How is this email?" uh, it's never going to be exactly the way. Even if you ask an AI today, it's not going to be exactly the way you would write it. It will be very close. And the question to ask yourself is, does this get the job done? Right? And if the answer is yes, let it go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be typing every single email and every single communication, right? And same story. That, like, if I'm not there, does it get the job done? It may not be the conversation that you would have, the way you would have, or the offices and everything is not operating the way it would operate if you were there. But it takes a lot. It gets the larger goal gets achieved. So then the question is, like, do I have a trust issue, and that's why I'm not letting it go? But if I do let it go, they would be just fine.
So I understand that part, but I don't understand the self-doubt part of that comment.
The self-doubt is that, do I have a shortcoming of the trust issue that I'm not there ready? I can be away for 2 days, but then I'm not. And I'm telling that, like, I can't go because I know they will derail.
Yeah.
Has it ever derailed? No.
Is it self-doubt or doubt on them? Because they're two very different things.
That is the self-check, right? Because it's hard to know.
Is it justifiable? Let me ask that question.
As in,
is that doubt on them justifiable in this scenario?
Maybe, maybe not. That's where the question mark is, right?
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to taste that poison? Or is it a poison? Like, what if, so now this is what I've done transition, right? I don't want to do anything sudden change. What I have been doing is I have been going out to initial engagement with the lead gen individual to say, this is a perfect example. This afternoon, I've told them that I'm actually in a podcast. I won't be able to take phone calls or read messages. I would come back, to the surface at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Then I'll have a look. Good luck.
Yeah.
And I'm very comfortable, and I have, not constantly thinking of what must be happening.
You're not worried about your messages on your phone.
And then I'm sure that there are messages, and I'm sure there are emails, and it's happening, but I know for the fact that it wouldn't have blown up.
Yeah.
Right. Because I've been doing and transitioning out that 2 hours will become half a day, and then 1 day, and then 2 days.
Yeah. So let me unpack that self-doubt a bit more. So I think what it would be is if you don't have the right people, or don't have the right systems, don't have the right metrics, that self-doubt is completely justifiable. So that doubt on them is completely justifiable. The other thing that I find, you seem like a very competent person, and the curse of competent people like us is that you can do most anything better than most other people. You probably can, right?
Yes.
You can probably write an email better. You can probably do a better sales proposal. You can probably do a better pitch. You can probably write a better strategy. But just because you can do everything better doesn't mean you should. And there's some stuff you just can't. That's why you need your 2IC just to do that stuff for you. So you need to figure out what stuff is it okay to be adequate in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the funny you say that. I'd had a funny incident. I went home one day. I was a little grumpy, and was having a cup of tea with my mom. And she's like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, we hired this engineer. He's just did this and blah blah. Why can't they just think?" And it's like, if everybody thought the way you thought, then you'll have 15 CEOs in the business. You don't need
there's
one.
a reason you're in your job, right? Yeah, there's a reason you're in your job.
So that cheered me. I was like, fair enough. But then, so you're spot on. It's like, is this, is this a self-doubt, or you need to understand, like, if they can float in this, I'm okay. That's okay. That's what's expected. Some people will naturally fall. Some people will naturally float.
But part of it is it depends what systems you've set up as the leader. So one of the things that I've somehow found a niche for me is helping founders through that transition, right? How does a founder step out of business, still own the company, get a CEO in, and completely let go? Which is, I mean, that's the next level, right?
Yes.
That's the next level delegation, because that's their asset, right? That's going to make them rich one day. And one of the nuances you want to figure out is what level of visibility do you need to feel comfortable? What do I need to see every morning at 9 o'clock to know yesterday was okay?
And that's exactly been asking. So, when you do the journaling,
Mm,
and if I look at what I was journaling 5 years ago to now, obviously that the vision has changed,
yeah,
that, from becoming a business leader to supporting a business leader.
yeah,
And that business leader is exactly that letting go,
mm,
because I don't want to be the person who's just
yeah,
always there. The whole idea is, somebody said it, if I don't make myself replaceable,
mm.
I would never be able to grow.
I think it's much more nuanced than that. I think what it is, let me ask you a question. Does your 2IC know this is what Japa needs to see at 9 o'clock every morning to know the company's okay?
Yes. Well, do I need to know every day at 9 o'clock what the companies look like?
Or
Or
what
is
happened
there?
yesterday? Like what are the 2, 3, 20 metrics that Japa needs to see to make him feel comfortable and not have to pick up the phone and call me?
Yes, and it is documented now.
And you get that on whatever cadence you need that?
It is. It is
So if you
documented.
get that, why do you still need to have tighter controls? That means
Because now, it's knowing what is needed and making it available, because you didn't have a family pool,
yeah,
is a two separate thing.
mhm,
So while I know that this person needs to know this,
mhm,
and I won't be able to give it to him at 9 o'clock,
yeah,
it might be 11:30.
yeah,
So what is that person going to do?
mm.
Because I can't leave my baby.
So that means you're not getting the info that you need in whatever cadence of time that you need that.
Mm,
And then that's a completely natural reaction for
mm,
you to not catastrophize, it might not be that bad, but to wonder, oh, I wonder what's happening.
mm.
Oh, I didn't see that. I haven't seen that. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's not a FOMO or
Yeah,
anything. It's
it's an
not a self-doubt,
uncertainty.
or
It's
it's
just
uncertainty.
uncertainty.
Right.
And the way CEOs solve uncertainty is you call people or you go talk to people.
Mm.
You'll wander around the office and just
Yes.
suss out the vibes.
Yep.
Everything's
Yep.
okay.
Yep. So that's the thing, that's exactly what's been happening. Like,
Mm,
I'll be there, suss out the vibe and blah, blah. But then, what if I can't walk around the
yeah.
office and talk
Do
to
you
people?
guys have like a daily stand up?
Yes. Every day, 8:45. So that's another one that
Yeah.
I have started and
Mm,
implemented all the systems in place,
yep.
and this year has been that journey.
Mm,
I have also started to intentionally,
mm,
I'm early riser.
yep.
Me and my dog is out,
Yep.
see the sunrise,
Mm,
and then no matter rain, hail, storm,
yep.
hopefully not rain. But then,
But if you have this 8:45, you go through those metrics at 8:45 in the morning.
yes,
Then why would there ever be a scenario at 10:30 that would not be in?
8:45, call it toolbox meeting,
Yep.
is to discuss who's going to do what and where,
Mhm.
and this is at that level. And
Or those metrics don't make that meeting, do they? Or
no, so now what
yeah.
it is now, thanks to Read AI and stuff like
Yep.
that, then nobody needs to then have that meeting, go take notes, and
Mm,
then share it. Just done, and
yep.
then an email comes through, which is
Mm,
the great part of the AI that I
yep.
love. And I see it. So most of the days I am engaged but not physically in the office before 10 o'clock. No point in sitting in the traffic and stuff like that. People have gone on and started doing what they're supposed to do. There are some minor fires and there are some minor pets in the back, and the rest of the life is, but I know exactly that if I go here, there'll be fire. And if I go here, there'll be some cheers and joy of success.
But do your metrics that you need make it to that 8:45 meeting? Does someone keyed into a spreadsheet somewhere, or?
There is now the simple notes in certain format that is taken, like this is the plan for the day. And then twice a week, there are the project meetings, they call it, in that the whole idea is that if there's one meeting on Monday, so like, let's only talk about what's happening between now and Thursday morning. We don't want to go beyond that. Right. So let's just talk about that. And then that is all documented and triggers and actions are given. Even if I just skim through that, then I very, very clearly knows what is happening and if I need to get involved or not.
Okay. But if that's happening, how come it's not working for you? How come it's not giving you what you need? Like, what part is missing?
Somebody needs to drive that. And at times...
That's that implementer person, right? That's what they should be driving.
And that's the thing, that you have a 2IC to be, let's say, and then you have a project delivery manager. And if the 2IC is missing in action some days, then there are a lot of like, oh, I'll find out when that person comes on. I'll find out when there are a lot of hanging open things, then that starts to kind of annoy me. It's like, what's the point of the meeting? But the meeting was about, it's like, let's find out. We still don't have answers to these questions.
Because what that's a symptom of is whoever's keying in those metrics isn't emotionally involved enough. Just doesn't care enough.
So how do you get the whole, I mean, I have a team of high performers. They're amazing. And like we tried a few sales individuals in certain matrices, but then the emerging tech individual told me, is like, we really need a salesperson. If you get a lead gen, there is nobody better than you who can explain and then get emotionally involved. He gets it, right? How do you get everybody else emotionally involved? Because some people are there for money, then there's a job for the next.
That's the core competency of a CEO, right? Like, that's what you got to figure out. And the only way I've seen that happen effectively is, so let's say you have daily stand-ups, you'll have 15 minutes with just your direct reports, but you'll go through the metrics. So if, let's just say in sales, right, I've got to get, I don't know, 10 customers, 12 customers a year, one a month. To do that, I've got to do, I don't know, 20 meetings per month, and I've got to do 100 phone calls per month, for example. So you break that down to every day I've got to do 10 phone calls, one meeting, I've got to sign up a customer once a month. So what you want in that respect is you want the sales guy to rock up to that daily meeting and say, yesterday I did 12 phone calls, but I didn't get enough meetings and I didn't do this. And you want them to feel the pain of failure and the pleasure of success. They've got to feel like they're letting their buddies down.
Fair enough.
Or they've got to feel like, oh my God, I just did such an amazing job. I did 20 meetings yesterday and 100 phone calls and I got 2 sales. I had to do 12 this year, but we're a month in, I've already got 4 sales in. Aren't I just a rock star? And you should celebrate that rock star, or let that person, when they're failing, you don't have to do it. They'll feel it themselves, feel publicly humiliated for not succeeding.
So in that sense, this is exactly the matrix is. And then it's not anybody humiliating that individual, but they need
to feel
to.
the pain.
They need to, and then they're feeling the pain. Give an example. We have a long sales cycle from the first phone call to signing the dotted line. Could be 2 months or 2 years.
Right? Makes sense. It makes sense. It's hardware, right? So that's long.
Because it's a big infrastructure.
There'll be a cycle. There'll be a
things
tender.
like that. Yeah. And then there were some people who left saying that, look, it's been 8 months. I haven't done wonders. I'm sure that I can't take it anymore. It's not that I don't like it. With the heavy heart, I need to go where I can win more.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think it was just doing okay and doing getting to know the industry and things like that. But there are, when you make it very obvious that it's true, you're not winning.
But that's when you only count winning as like that one deal a month you need to sign up. You need to consider number of meetings. Like, whatever the upstream actions are, that's part of the winning.
And that is exactly what, I wanted to retain the talent. And I tried to explain that individual that, look, it's in my book.
Was that their first sales job?
No.
Okay, so they know how the game plays.
People come from the different industries. Yeah. Like sometimes, when you knock on a door and selling toothbrush is very different than,
just on the same day. Yeah.
So once you, like real estate business, 2 months turnaround is done or moved on to another agent type of thing. And when you come to there, it's like, okay, you build and tell the story and blah, blah, and maybe a year later you got $1 million contract. It's very different.
Yeah.
And it's like in my books, these are the wins that you have done. And look at this, you're doing the right thing, that the customer is asking questions and they want to talk to you rather than talk to me, which is a big win, blah, blah. So what? I'm not telling you that you haven't brought in the business. I know you haven't. And there's a reason for it because everything takes time. It's like I use a pizza analogy that if you put a pizza on one end, it's going to take time, but if you top load enough, then it's going to get to a point where now you suddenly start to, until then, you can't crank up the temperature. You can't fast track it. Either you get a burnt pizza or a half baked. You don't want to do that. So this is the progression of the time. This is also the reason that
some people are not made for enterprise sales. They're not made for a long sales cycle.
They're not.
Some people are, some people aren't.
And I think a lot of times what happens is that, as mostly the sales is there's a retainer and then there's an enterprise sales that you get bigger chunk when the
big upside
the close. A lot of people are just not patient enough for the long run. And I feel that, and that is the reason, the way the business is structured, that, and I think in this industry, mobility deals with a lot of councils and stuff. You don't really need a salesperson. You could have a tender writer, you could have some prep or lead gen, but individuals like CEO or the commercial manager and they're emotionally, as you said, tied to the success.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And which means the growth of the business is also their growth, but not direct material contribution.
Yep.
So what I've done is
just on that, because what I found, I think you'd get it, this is so succeeding sales in larger complex enterprises, you almost need this scaffolding. Like you need a marketing person, a pre-sales person, a tender writer, a deep product expert, someone who's got great connection to the organization. You need like half a dozen people to come together to succeed.
Yeah, and that's where that, based on the CRM, we have now each column has a name.
Yep.
Or two.
Yep.
And that it has been working like a charm.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we thought customers don't want to see different faces, but then they don't really mind.
Yep.
Because the face is also them changing. Yeah. Right. Because the decision making layer.
And there's 6 people on the client side anyway, right? So
exactly. So that the myth was broken and now they're absolutely fine.
Yep.
End of the day, what it's a game, money game. We don't want to be, one thing we realized is that you cannot be known as a Toyota level tier company, but selling at a Mercedes BMW price tag, or even if you drop to the MG Zeekr level, there's a bigger market of that tier than higher or lower.
Yep.
And what we have prepared is to prepare our solution to be the Toyota.
Yep.
in the last 6 months, a lot of time and energy and resource has been put that is, this is the pricing and this is the performance.
Yeah.
But now the look and feel is like Lexus.
Yep. Okay.
So when you sit inside,
There's more value than
yeah.
otherwise.
So even if you look at the proposal document, it's so much more professionally done than what it was a year ago.
Yep.
Simple changes, the way the equipments look and feel.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if I'm getting this for the price tag, and if this is the same brand, what it has been, great, I'll take it. I don't want to pay the BMW price yet. Yeah. But then I'll buy it at the same price, but I will be okay to pay a little bit of maintenance and a warranty money.
Totally. That makes sense. Okay, we should probably start wrapping up. I mean, how do you think we went with solving that problem? How do I introduce new payment tech to my clients? How close do you reckon we got to a good solution?
Yeah, I think it's a very very engaging conversation. Sometimes I've been to the podcast and I like the style that there is, the beginning, middle, and an end, and the end we got to that is like, oh, this is how it is. And
do you think we got the right solution?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, time will tell once we do the
Tell me in 2 years' time.
right?
Tell me in 2 years' time.
Yeah, but I really like it. I think you have a very sharp niche to understand and distill the facts down to that pain point. Yeah. But at times, when you're like me, busy in a day-to-day activity, you don't see that dark spot, right? Yeah,
just too zoomed in. That's all.
So this is all has been great to zoom out and look at this thing. Sometimes it comes as a validation that I didn't want to know that this is the problem. I knew this was a problem, but now you're telling me it's like I have to now agree and do something.
Yeah,
right.
Very much so. Very much so.
No, it's great.
Perfect. Yeah. Look, I mean, final question from my side. Look, a question that I'd like to ask right at the end. I mean, what's something that you always knew to be true that you've since found out that isn't true?
That's a tricky one. I always thought that it's always about the price tag. And I myself, my own personal life, have realized that I have walked into the store and I have now I've purchased things and paid for it without looking at the price tag because I have a reason associated to that. Like if I do this, this is how it's going to complement why I need this. It's no longer emotional buy. I am commemorating something or there's a reason behind it. And every customer that I also speak to, yes, everybody wants to first likes and they want to win. And it's like, okay, if you agree to this and they're like, oh, look, I love what I bought. And I also got him to reduce $50 or something like that. That's okay. But nobody comes up and makes it about the price only. Yeah. You don't even want those customers where they don't want to know the tech and it's never about the price. So I always thought that if you drop the price to non-compatible, compatible, like nobody can come anywhere close. It's like somebody said that you if you do something for everybody or you do everything for someone, they have two different markets. So it's up to you which one do you want to be. Play. And I think what I've learned here is that most of our customers, it's never about the price. Yes, it's a driving force. Nobody's going to put $150,000 if there is a $70,000 solution on the table. But when it gets to give or take 20% even, they are so focused on like, I want something that really solves my problem.
Well, I think what you're saying is it's not issue number one. It's on the list, but it's not the number one.
No. Yeah. And I always thought it's always about the money. When people wants to talk to me, it's always about what can you do? 1 out of 20 conversation, it starts there, but mostly they want to really have that relationship and the confidence. It's not always about money. So those who are trying to reduce the cost so they can sell it the cheapest possible, I think people will willing to pay for the quality and the relationship.
Totally. Makes sense.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
very
out.
much.
Thank you, guys. Absolute pleasure. Very nice meeting you.
Same here.
Great. Thanks. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do want to be a guest, make sure you hit me up and do follow me on socials and make sure you check out future episodes. Thanks, guys.